Hello and welcome to The Health Advocate. I'm your host, Matt Dinsmore, and today with me I have Christi, Witte, and Greg Jared with Principal Research Solutions. They help run clinical trials on lab rats. No?
Guinea pigs.
Guinea pigs. On guinea pigs?
Yeah.
Do you have to be a licensed guinea pig to be in your...
No.
No. Okay. No,
No.
human beings. And maybe that's a good place to start. What is Principal Research Solutions? What are you guys doing?
We are a clinical trial management organization. So we partner with physicians here in Spokane, the whole Spokane area, who, in addition to their practice, are thought leaders and want to be involved in research, bringing new treatments to their patients.
Okay. And how are they getting aware of new treatments, new medications? So they're obviously trying to lead something. How does that process?
You know, a lot of it is they're known to the companies that are bringing new therapies to
Okay.
market, and they will approach them and say, you know, will you help us collect the data that we need to look at this medication? Give them the opportunity to put, you know, maybe 5 patients in Spokane, 20 patients in Spokane, whatever
Okay.
number they're looking for.
So they kind of lead the clinical side of it, you know, in conjunction with the drug company who's arranging these trials, and then they reach out to you, and you guys are in the room collecting data.
Correct.
What's your role in it?
So we provide the coordinators who
Okay.
actually see the patients.
Okay.
Granted, that's all overseen by the investigator themselves.
Okay.
So it's at the physician's office. We help hook the right people up with the right trials. We provide all the regulatory oversight.
Okay.
So we do a lot of.
There's a
the-
lot of regulatory stuff when it
There's
comes
a
to drug
lot of
trials?
regulatory.
No way. I don't believe
I
it.
know. Lawyers
Yeah.
in the federal government get involved, and
Yes.
and that's the part that's really intimidating to a lot of doctors.
Sure.
That they have the medical knowledge, they have the desire to bring new treatments to market, to let their patients have access to new treatments sooner, but they're a little intimidated by the regulatory aspect.
Sure.
And that's where we come in. So we've got the coordinators with decades of experience and regulatory oversight.
Okay.
We can help them through that.
And I know that you're, you know, there's different phases in trials, right? And you're generally doing phase
2 through 4.
2 through 4. Okay. So what are the chances that the people that enroll in your trial are going to grow tails? Is there a high chance for that?
I'm still waiting.
Okay. No
Right?
tails yet?
No tails yet.
Okay.
It's my ultimate dream is somebody will come back with a tail or a third eye.
Okay.
Okay.
But really from a consumer perspective, so are they going in, is there, obviously you're still looking for side effects in you know, with any of these
Absolutely.
medications, but are these trials, you know, if I was a consumer, I was going into a trial, I'd be like, am I going to grow a tail? It'd be a real serious concern of mine. How do I know if the drug is even safe enough to begin a trial? Like, how did that, you know?
So if I could answer that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, that's going to be in the different phases
Okay.
of the clinical trials. And like Christy said, we do phase 2 through 4 generally.
Okay.
There's work that goes into the study ahead of time, which is called the bench work phase.
Okay.
Which is where you would see things being built and modified in a research lab. Once it comes into humans, that's the phases 1 through 4.
Okay.
And phase 1 is when they take the drug and they put it into humans for the first time.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that is
so if it's at phase 2, then it's probably a little, well, there's more research and data behind it than phase 1, obviously.
So they've established safety to move forward.
Okay. All right.
with a very small group of people to begin with.
Okay.
And the size of the group of people in the study increases as you go through the phases.
Okay.
So phase 1, very small. Phase 2, a little larger. Phase 3, which is where we see a lot of the trials. Quite a few people are being involved in that because they need to get good, solid data
Okay.
from a good number of people so that it's valid.
So how do you get these people? Are you looking for certain? Is it anybody who can sign up, or who are you looking for?
So each trial is different.
Okay.
And in phase 1, like we were talking about, that small group of people, those have to be healthy individuals.
Okay.
Because we want to make sure that the very first time this goes into somebody, that if there is a side effect, is that from that drug or is it from a current condition? After that, then we're looking for people who have the condition that's being studied.
Okay.
So if it's a diabetes trial, we're looking for people with diabetes. If it's a dermatology study such as psoriasis,
Yes.
we're going to look for somebody who has some psoriasis.
Okay.
And that's because we need to look at the safety of the drug all the way through all 4 phases.
Okay.
But we also need to look at the efficacy of what that drug is doing.
Okay. All right. So is it doing what we hope it to do, improve psoriasis or whatever the condition may
Correct.
be? All right. I know we kind of made a joke about the guinea pigs early on, but where did that come from?
So interestingly, guinea pigs, like humans, are one of the only mammals that cannot synthesize glucose into vitamin C. They don't make their own vitamin C.
Oh.
So in the 1700s, when Britain was sending out all these sailors and more than half of them were dying of scurvy, a researcher named Lind realized by using guinea pigs that you cure it with lemons, that it was citric acid.
Oh my gosh, vitamin
most
C
mammals
citric.
make that vitamin C themselves, but because guinea pigs, just like humans, have the same digestion, that's who we used to discover we could save people with lemons.
So in the beginning of clinical trials began, way back
Essentially,
when.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
saved thousands of countless of sailors since
Absolutely.
that time. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So are your trials saving thousands of countless of humans? Do you have that data yet?
On some of them, yeah.
Okay.
So I've been doing this almost 20 years.
Wow.
And I've watched drugs come to market. Life-saving, absolutely.
Wow.
Life-altering more often.
Okay.
So we're treating conditions now that we never even had a treatment for. We could treat maybe some of the symptoms,
Mm-hmm.
but as a practitioner, you know this. I mean, you can actually treat things that we used to just cross our fingers and hope for the best and treat
Yes.
the symptoms as they came up.
Right. Yeah, it's not, so these drugs that are coming out are not just necessarily symptom management, it's actually treating the underlying condition
Absolutely.
that are driving those symptoms.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's important to the regulatory authorities as well. So when we're looking for people that go into these trials, there's a very specific inclusion, exclusion criteria.
Okay.
That's determined in cooperation between the manufacturer, who actually wants to bring this drug to market, and FDA regulatory, as far as what people do they want included to make sure we're getting real world data.
Okay, all right, so you're not fudging the numbers somehow or something along
No.
those lines, they're
No.
trying to,
We luckily, we've got a very elite team. Our least experienced is at a decade.
Wow.
And we've had the opportunity to work with some of the best and some of the not so best. So we really know what ethical research looks like.
Okay.
We know what a good investigator watches, the kind of processes to have in place to keep it patient-centered and ethical.
okay, right.
And we work with some great doctors who feel the same way that we do.
So if you see somebody drop $20, do you pick it up and give it back to them, or you put it in your own pocket?
Is it the day before payday?
It is.
Yeah, I'll give it
Yeah.
back.
All right. Good. All right. I'm glad you're running the studies. What type of studies are you running right now, or what type of people are you looking forward to join your studies? Can it be nationwide here in Spokane?
So, yes.
Okay.
And yes.
Okay. Wow.
Probably at least nationwide, if not worldwide.
Wow. Okay.
So just for us, for the majority of our people who are going to be in the studies, it's a Spokane area
Okay.
that we would be servicing.
Yeah.
But you asked what kind of trials we have. We have so many different areas that we work in. One of the areas is with a specialty, kind of a rare disease, and we recruit nationwide, and people will fly in from all over the country.
At their own
to-
cost or the cost of the drug company?
This is all going to be at the cost
Wow.
of the sponsor,
The
which
sponsor,
is the
okay.
drug company.
Okay.
You're not supposed to pay to be involved in a clinical trial.
Okay.
So that's one of the things, as being a part of the clinical study.
Yes.
You would have things like travel compensated for you.
Okay.
So even our people here in Spokane will receive some type of stipend
Okay.
when they come in to help defer the costs of travel, parking, time away from work, things
Yes.
like that.
Okay. But they're also kind of getting an opportunity maybe for a condition to have, I mean, potentially, right? It's still in the trial phase, potentially some sort of curative treatment for a condition that otherwise maybe they wouldn't be coming to you, obviously, if they already found a solution.
So yes and no,
Okay.
which is going to be my default answer all the way through this.
Okay.
sometimes you'll have a condition that is a chronic condition.
Yeah.
So a lot of the skin conditions that we deal with are going to be chronic conditions,
Okay.
where people will utilize a medication, and sometimes the latest and greatest medication, but then it may become ineffective.
Oh.
So
Oh,
here's
okay.
another opportunity once you've exhausted all of the current therapies. Here's another opportunity for you.
Sure. Okay.
As important as the new therapies when someone is actually involved in a clinical trial is the amount of education they get, the fact that they are seeing a board certified specialist in that area.
Sure.
At absolutely no
cost
cost.
to them.
Right?
Yep.
We don't even ask if people have insurance. We take all of their time, diagnostic testing, labs, x-rays, all of that gets billed directly to the company that's trying to bring this to market. So it's a treatment option that a lot of people don't realize when they're, diagnosed with a new condition or having a flare of a chronic condition. And, things have gotten expensive. You've done lots of these episodes on just that. And it is a treatment option for them. There's a lot of research going on in Spokane. It would actually surprise most people.
Wow. Yeah.
So, we've got almost 30 trials at, that we're helping manage. And then I know there are some smaller research facilities in town that have different things going on as well.
So what conditions are currently going on? What studies? Can you share that, or is
Yeah,
that like?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay, all right.
And you can go to principalresearchsolutions.com.
Oh, okay, all right. It's not
Current
like
studies.
hush hush, really. Yeah, yeah.
So for instance, we
Okay.
have the specialty, the hereditary angioedema.
Okay.
We're doing trials in that area. We have areas with ear, nose, throat, with chronic sinusitis.
Okay.
We have gastroenterology with Crohn's. We
Okay.
have a new celiac study.
Wow.
That's coming up for people who are diagnosed with blood testing as being a positive celiac.
Okay.
Who are currently using a gluten-free diet.
Will you
This
do
is an
biopsy
oral,
as well?
so-
Biopsy
They've
confirmed?
already had their biopsy usually.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
We are doing genotyping though, so they'll know what genotype they are.
Okay. All right.
You know, daily oral pill to help control symptoms of celiac.
Okay.
Lots of different types of dermatology studies, from atopic dermatitis. We have psoriasis, which is, atopic dermatitis is eczema,
Okay.
and psoriasis. We've got some exciting new ones as well, like for prurigo nodularis, which is basically nodular bumps,
Itchy bumps.
Yes.
that are
Oh.
all over. There's not currently a therapy available that's FDA approved, so
Okay.
we're working on that. We have
Wow.
vitiligo, which
Okay.
is, a lot of people think of Michael Jackson, with the different blotchy colors on the skin.
Yep.
Working on topical therapy for that medication. We have hidradenitis suppurativa,
Okay.
which is also called inverse acne. Very painful,
Oh.
usually in the creases.
Yes.
So working on that as well.
Okay.
Actinic keratoses, we have help me
We have a
out here.
great study for flaring Crohn's patients that is actually an oral therapy, not
Oh.
injectable. So,
Oh my gosh, wow, okay.
We're seeing a lot of people since the Ambros Humiras, have come out. We get secondary non-responders to those medicines. So they
Yeah.
worked great at first, and then they start to lose their effectiveness. Patients start flaring again, and the option of an oral medication is super exciting for a lot of these people.
Wow, that is really. Yeah.
Nasal
Colonoscopies.
polyps
Okay.
in adolescents.
Yep.
So for the kids, we do all ages. One of our recent studies was
Down to
3
3
months
months.
old
Whoa.
with blood draws.
Okay.
And all of the other testing that goes along with the clinical trial process.
Wow.
For all the way down to ages of 3 months.
Man. Well, I mean, many of the things you named are just like classic thorns in the side for practitioners, because there's just sometimes you just cannot,
There-
you don't feel like you are helping people.
And
you
that's
know?
exactly why a lot of our doctors choose to do research.
Yeah.
They're not happy with the treatments they have available for their patients, or there is no treatment available for
Right.
the patients,
Yeah.
especially in the rare disease arena and in some of these skin conditions. Interlesional injections has been their only option for so long with some of these things.
Wow. Just
So
painful.
it's exciting.
So when I think of clinical trials, I think like if you're a patient, you walk into a really sterile room and there's like people in one-way mirrors looking at you and asking questions, with bright lights.
That's Men in Black.
That's Men in Black. Okay. Right. Well, that are clinical trials is what I feel. Is that how these trials are run? Like, does it feel very clinic-y? Is it?
You're in a clinic.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
And we're
right.
all
So that
healthcare
part.
professionals.
Yes. All right.
Our average visit is probably an hour and a half to 2 hours long.
Wow. Okay.
You're hooked up with a coordinator who is a specialist in that study who works directly with the doc.
Who stays with you the whole time?
Stays with you the whole time. So there's some relationship there.
Sure.
A lot of education, like I said. And again, it is a clinical environment,
Yeah.
but it's very patient-centric.
Right.
So when was the last time somebody spent 2 hours in the room with you without their hand on the doorknob?
Sure.
And just wanted to know how you're feeling and how things are going for you.
Well, I think, with research, I think we always think like, well, objective data is where it's at, but there's really, which is just numbers, right? And then there's
And
subjective.
it's important.
Right.
But
right.
so is the subjective.
Which is what patients say and it sounds like the time that you have is really to be able to hear and listen the subjective portion as well, and for the value that is.
Right.
Yeah.
So the patient's a critical part of the data collection process, how they're feeling, which is why almost all studies now have an actual diary that's given to the patient that elicits how they're feeling as far as different symptoms. Because, we need to be able to do a scope and see that your intestines look better.
Yes. Okay.
But we also need to know how you feel.
Huh. Okay. Yeah.
The patient has become a critical part of that data collection.
And that scope's, again, no cost to them.
Correct.
Any
We
procedure.
absolutely no cost to a patient for anything.
Okay.
So again, it's a good treatment option that I think is often not considered.
Are you aware of any clinical trials? So all these things are treating conditions, right? But is there anything clinical trials running where we're trying to enhance humans in some way with like X-ray vision, laser beams?
We're actually not allowed to talk about that.
Okay, I thought so. That sounds about right. All right. Well, I just want to thank Christi, Witte, and Greg, Jared for joining us from Principal Research Solutions. If you're interested in being a patient or see if you'd be a candidate in some of those conditions, we're like, I have that. Check out their website and give them a call to see if you could be an eligible patient. Otherwise, I'm Matt Dinsmore with the Health Advocate, signing out.
Ask the host a question, recommend a guest, or hear this program again on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com.